Earth 616. Earth 616 is the main Marvel universe, home to Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Avengers, and almost every major Marvel story you know. But here's the twist. It wasn't even the first Marvel universe to get a number. The term Earth 16 was coined in 1983 by British writer Alan Moore during a Captain Britain story. He picked the number randomly, and somehow it became the official name for Marvel's core reality. What makes Earth 616 special isn't just that it's the original, it's been evolving for over 60 years. When Stan Lee and Jack Kirby launched Fantastic Four in 1961, they unknowingly built the foundation for a massive, interconnected world where every hero could cross paths, something DC wasn't really doing at the time. The timeline runs on a sliding timescale, meaning characters age slowly, no matter how many real years pass. Spider-Man debuted in 1962, yet in comics, he's still in his late 20s. This keeps stories fresh while letting Marvel update origins. Tony Stark's war injury, for example, has shifted from Vietnam to more modern conflicts. Some of Marvel's biggest events happened here. Secret Wars, 1984, Civil War, 2006, which split the hero community, and Infinity Gauntlet, 1991, where Thanos wiped out half of all life, a storyline that later inspired the MCU. But it's not just cosmic battles. The death of Gwen Stacy proved heroes can lose. The X-Men's fight for mutant rights mirrors real-world struggles. Even when the multiverse collapsed during Secret Wars 2015, Earth 616 was rebuilt. Earth 1610. Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe, was Marvel's bold experiment to modernize classic heroes without 40 years of baggage. Launched in 2000 with Ultimate Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis, Bendis spent entire issues showing Peter dealing with high school drama, his relationship with Mary Jane, and balancing homework with web-slinging. This wasn't the wisecracking adult from Earth 616. This was a genuinely awkward kid figuring out his powers in real time. But the Ultimate Universe's biggest gift to Marvel was Miles Morales. When they actually killed Peter Parker in 2011, it was shocking. Then Miles, a half-black, half-Latino teenager with invisibility and bioelectric powers, became the new Spider-Man. Other heroes got dramatic makeovers too. The Ultimates weren't just the Avengers, they were a government-sponsored team with a grittier, morally questionable approach. Captain America was a no-nonsense soldier, and Tony Stark's alcoholism was front and center instead of being downplayed. The Ultimate Universe took risks the main Marvel universe couldn't. The Ultimatum event killed off Wolverine, Magneto, and half the mutant population permanently. It was controversial, but showed this universe had real consequences. Here's what most people don't realize. The MCU is basically the Ultimate Universe brought to life. Nick Fury looking like Samuel L. Jackson, the Avengers being a government initiative, Spider-Man's high school focus, all of that came from Ultimate Comics, not the original 616 versions. When the Ultimate Universe ended in 2015, its legacy was already cemented. It proved you could update classic characters for modern audiences while respecting what made them special. Earth 65. Earth 65 asks one question. What if Gwen Stacy got the spider bite instead of Peter Parker? In this world, Gwen becomes Spider-Woman, and Peter, desperate to be special, experiments with the lizard formula. When she's forced to stop him, she can't save him, flipping the guilt and responsibility that define Spider-Man. But Spider-Gwen isn't just a gender-swapped Peter. She's a rebellious punk rock drummer for a band called the Mary Janes, sarcastic and fiercely independent. Her world turns familiar faces upside down. Captain George Stacy hunts Spider-Woman without knowing she's his daughter, Matt Murdock works for the Kingpin, and Frank Castle is a police captain targeting vigilantes. She exploded in popularity after Spider-Verse, with her white and pink hoodie, ballet shoes, and punk aesthetic becoming instantly iconic in the 2018 animated film. It proved the Spider-Man story works with anyone, as long as you nail the themes of power and responsibility. Earth 2149. Earth 2149 is where Marvel asked the darkest question possible. What if superheroes became zombies? Created by Robert Kirkman in 2005, this isn't your typical zombie apocalypse. These undead heroes retain all their powers and intelligence, but they're driven by an insatiable hunger for human flesh. The virus starts when the Sentry arrives from another dimension already infected, becoming Patient Zero. Within hours, nearly every hero and villain is transformed. Captain America leads a group of zombie Avengers hunting for survivors. The Fantastic Four, once Earth's greatest protectors, become a fractured pack of monsters with Reed Richards using his intellect to find new prey instead of a cure. What makes this universe truly horrifying is that the zombified heroes don't just eat regular people, they eventually consume cosmic entities. When Galactus arrives to devour Earth, the zombie heroes actually kill and eat him, gaining his cosmic power. They become strong enough to leave Earth and spread across the galaxy, consuming entire planets. It's Kirkman taking the zombie apocalypse concept to its most extreme logical conclusion, Earth 295. Earth 295, the Age of Apocalypse, was born from one catastrophic moment, Professor Xavier's death. In this timeline, Xavier's son Legion travels back in time to kill Magneto, but accidentally kills his own father instead. Without Xavier to form the X-Men or his dream of peaceful coexistence, the world becomes a nightmare ruled by the ancient mutant apocalypse. With Xavier dead, Magneto steps up to honor his fallen friend's vision, creating the X-Men himself. But this isn't the Magneto we know. He's trying to be the hero Xavier was, leading a resistance against Apocalypse's tyranny. Meanwhile, Apocalypse has conquered most of North America with his 4 horsemen, turning it into a wasteland where humans are either slaves or cattle. Scott Summers loses his moral compass without Xavier's guidance and becomes one of Apocalypse's horsemen. Storm leads the Morlocks in underground tunnels. Beast becomes a mad scientist conducting horrific experiments. Logan never joined the X-Men and became a brutal enforcer called Weapon X, missing his left hand after a fight with Cyclops. Earth 811. Earth 811 is the nightmare future from Days of Future Past, where giant sentinels have wiped out nearly all mutants. By 2013, most X-Men are dead, survivors rot in internment camps, and the robots now target anyone with the potential for mutation, meaning almost everyone. It all began in 1981, when Mystique's Brotherhood assassinated Senator Robert Kelly. That single act gave politicians the excuse to unleash the Sentinel program, which evolved from hunting dangerous mutants to seeing all of humanity as the enemy. In this ruined world, the last X-Men, Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, and a hardened Kitty Pryde, gamble on one desperate plan: send Kitty's mind back in time to stop the assassination and erase the entire future. Earth 10,005. Earth 10,005 is the Fox X-Men movie universe that ran for 20 years, from X-Men in 2000 to the New Mutants in 2020. This universe is important because it basically launched the modern superhero movie era and gave us Hugh Jackman's iconic portrayal of Wolverine, which defined the character for an entire generation of fans. The timeline gets complicated thanks to Days of Future Past in 2014, which created 2 separate timelines within the same universe. The original timeline includes the first 3 X-Men movies, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and the Wolverine. Then the movie literally resets the timeline, creating a new branch that includes First Class, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. Patrick Stewart's Professor X and Ian McKellen's Magneto anchored the films with their complex friendship and ideological conflict. The movies treated the mutant metaphor seriously, making it about real-world prejudice rather than just spectacle. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine became the heart of this universe across 9 movies over 17 years. His version was rougher and more animalistic than the comics, but Jackman brought genuine emotion to Logan's struggle with his violent nature and immortality. Logan in 2017 was supposed to be the perfect ending to his story, an R-rated, emotionally devastating conclusion that showed an aging Wolverine protecting the next generation of mutants. The universe had its problems: inconsistent continuity, some terrible movies like X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and storylines that never quite landed like the Dark Phoenix saga. But it also gave us genuinely great films like X2, Days of Future Past, and Logan that proved superhero movies could be more than just action spectacle. What's fascinating is how this universe is now colliding with the MCU through Deadpool and Wolverine. The movie revealed that Logan was this universe's anchor being, the character holding the entire reality together. When he died in Logan, the universe was supposed to die too, but somehow it got saved, possibly with Deadpool becoming the new anchor. Earth 199,999. Earth 199,999 is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It all began in 2008 with a risky choice: start with Iron Man instead of Spider-Man or the X-Men, who were stuck with other studios. That gamble, and Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, built the foundation for the most successful movie franchise in history, with a grounded tone where the tech feels plausible and the heroes feel like real people. The MCU is built like a TV series on a massive scale. Each phase is a season, ending in giant crossover events, from the Avengers in Phase 1 to Infinity War and Endgame in Phase 3, where Thanos snapped half the universe away and the heroes took 5 years to undo it. Unlike the comics, these characters age in real time and face permanent consequences. Tony Stark transforms from selfish arms dealer to self-sacrificing hero over 11 years. Steve Rogers ends his story not with another battle, but by choosing to live out his life with Peggy Carter. And now, this universe has cracked open its own multiverse, with Loki revealing the TVA, No Way Home uniting 3 generations of Spider-Men, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness showing just how dangerous alternate realities can be. Earth 838 is the universe where the heroes you trust the most made the unthinkable choice. They executed Doctor Strange. Why? In their timeline, Thanos still came for the Infinity Stones, but instead of fighting the long war we saw in the MCU, Strange tried a shortcut. He used the Darkhold to dreamwalk into other universes, searching for the fastest way to win. He found it, but in the process, he caused an incursion. The collision of 2 universes that erased an entire reality and billions of lives. The Illuminati decided they couldn't risk him doing it again. This Illuminati is the most complete superhero lineup we've ever seen on screen. Professor X, Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Captain Carter, and Captain Marvel, all coexisting like the rights issues in our world never happened. Their differences tell whole stories by themselves. Peggy Carter as the Super Soldier, Maria Rambeau as Captain Marvel, the X-Men openly existing. But when the Scarlet Witch rampaged through their world, most of these legends didn't survive the encounter. The Void. The Void isn't a universe. It's where universes go when they die. This wasteland at the end of time is where the TVA dumps everything they prune, patrolled by Alioth, a massive creature that devours anything that gets too close. We saw it in Loki with classic Loki, Kid Loki, and Alligator Loki surviving by hiding from Alioth, but Deadpool and Wolverine revealed something darker. Characters from canceled movie franchises end up here too. Chris Evans's Human Torch from the 2005 Fantastic Four, Jennifer Garner's Elektra. The Void works as both a literal place and a metaphor for forgotten characters whose stories ended badly. What makes it terrifying is that Alioth doesn't just kill you, it erases you completely. The survivors spend years hiding in bunkers, scavenging while staying off the creature's radar, but they've also formed a makeshift family. This is what happens when timelines collapse and heroes fail to save their worlds. But speaking of heroes saving worlds, let's look at universes where they take completely different approaches.